Hey there, welcome. This is Per Sancti Studio, and today I'm finally showing you my new Blender add-on, the Metaball Field Generator. It's done, it's out. After months of work, this tool is finally live, and in this video I'll show you how to install it, how to activate your license, and how to use it step by step, including all the weird little things I added just for fun. Alright, so let's say you've got Blender 4.4 opened, you're in the right place. After purchasing the add-on, you'll receive a zip file. The file is called metaballfieldgenerator.zip, and yes, it's a zip file, so don't extract it. You'll also receive a license key. That key is unique to you and important. It works on exactly 2 devices. Just 2, not 3, not 10. And yes, that limitation is enforced. It's not just a suggestion. If you try to activate it on a 3rd device, it will not work. So please activate it properly and keep it safe. Alright, now let's get it installed. Take that ZP file and just drag and drop it into Blender's Preferences under the Add-on section. A little pop-up window should appear. It'll say something like Install from Disk, Override, Enable and Install, and Target Default. Click OK and the add-on installs. Now, since I already activated mine earlier, you won't see my license screen, but let me walk you through it anyway. Once installed, go to your add-on preferences. You'll find the add-on listed there. It's under Metaball Tools in the end panel. It might be labeled Metaball Generator. I shortened it a bit. You'll see an input field for your license key. Just paste it in. Click Activate License and you're done. But before you do that, there's one thing you need to do first. Click on Data Collection Consent. Please read it. I know nobody wants to read legal stuff, but I'm based in Germany. GDPR is a thing, and I want to be completely transparent about how data is handled. So yeah, just take 10 seconds to check it out. I don't collect anything weird, but legally I have to ask. Once you've agreed, you can go ahead and activate your license, and again I'll say it, 2 devices only. Now if one of your devices breaks, or you want to move your license to a different computer, no problem. Just go to the machine where it's currently activated, click Deauthorize, and you'll be able to use the key on a different device. Alright, that's the setup. Let's move into Blender now. I'll show you what this thing looks like in action. You'll notice, yeah, it looks like a lot. The UI is full of controls, and that's intentional, but don't worry. I know it can feel overwhelming at first, especially if you're new to procedural stuff in Blender. That's why I added something at the very top called Easy Mode. This is your safe space, your starting point. When Easy Mode is enabled, the interface is simplified. It limits your control to the basics, but still gives you some flexibility. So what can you do here? Well, for starters, you can click Generate, and boom, instant metaball structure. Done. If you want symmetry, toggle the X or Z axis, or both. And if you just want to play around, you can also click Randomize All and get something totally unpredictable. Shapes include spheres, ellipsoids, capsules, cubes, even planes. Every time you click, you get a new form. Sometimes elegant, sometimes chaotic, but always procedural. I personally like to work with symmetry enabled. It just makes things feel more balanced, more composed. Now sometimes nothing appears when you click Generate. Don't panic, that's normal. What's happening is some of the randomized values might cancel each other out or generate an empty set. If that happens, just click Generate again. Now when you generate something, you'll see that each new shape gets added to your scene with a name like metaball.001, metaball.002, etc. If you want to keep a shape you like, make sure to rename it before clicking Generate again, otherwise it'll get overwritten. Now let's talk about 2 important sliders, a blend factor and spacing. Blend factor controls how strongly the metaballs merge into one another. Spacing controls how far apart they are from each other. So let's try. Blend 0, spacing 0, and yeah, that looks messy. Let's increase the spacing a bit. Now they separate, but they still touch. Now raise the blend and boom, everything melts together. A smooth organic blob. This gives you a ton of control over the form and density of your structure. At any time, if things get too messy, just hit Delete All Generated, Clean Slate. Presets are also available in Easy Mode if you want pre-configured shapes or symmetry settings. Totally optional. And yeah, occasionally you might see error messages, especially when clicking Randomize All. That's just Python doing Python things. It's rare and it doesn't break anything. just click again. In fact, here I'll show you live. I'm clicking generate over and over, and every single time something new pops up. Okay, now let's leave easy mode behind and go deeper. Let's enter what I like to call casino mode. Yeah, I had fun with this. So you're tired of clicking generate over and over? How about this? You place your bet, that is how many objects you want per spin, let's say 6. Then you hit spin and ta-da, fresh structures every time. Want to automate it? Just enable auto spin and set the spin interval in seconds. Let's try 0.2, that's fast. Now watch what happens. It's kinda ridiculous. I also added a fun little twist, achievements. The more you spin in casino mode, the more little icons you unlock. They're saved between sessions, so you can track how often you've been playing. Just a fun thing I threw in. Important, when you turn off casino mode, make sure auto spin is also off. Otherwise, yeah, Blender might not enjoy that. Now let's go back to the standard panel again. We can generate specific types of metaballs now, not just random ones. Choose from spheres, capsules, cubes, ellipsoids, planes. You can also enable all types to mix everything together. This creates more alien, more organic, sometimes totally wild forms. You can also set a seed value that changes the internal positioning of the generated shapes without changing the size or count. Really useful when you want to iterate on a form without losing its structure. If you get weird behavior, click Force Cleanup. It resets the scene without deleting your settings. Now let's talk about the coordinate range. You can control the X, Y, and Z ranges that determine where in space the metaballs can appear. Be careful. Setting all values to 0 or something crazy like 500 can cause generation to fail or result in nonsense geometry. You can also use field scale with options like x2, x5 to scale the randomness. The default range is from -15 to +15, which is good for most workflows. Now let's say you want to generate metaballs on an existing object, like a sphere. Use the target object feature. Select your mesh, click target object, and boom, you're generating directly on the surface. This isn't geometry nodes, but it works kinda like it. It reads the surface normals and places metaballs directly onto the mesh. Set the number, resolution, seed, and hit generate. Each batch gets its own collection, so you can stay organized. If it gets too messy, just delete the collection. You can also scatter metaballs manually or scale individual ones. Just make sure the origins are set correctly. Okay, now let's talk about something important. Mesh quality. Because let's be honest, raw metaballs, they do not always look great. Sometimes you get jagged shading, overlapping surfaces, weird geometry issues. That is where remeshing comes in. You have a few different remesh modes. There is low RAM mode, that one is perfect for older or weaker machines. Then there is simple remesh and quad remesh. These are fast and clean up the mesh without much processing. But if your computer can handle it, advanced remesh is really where the magic happens. You can set how many faces you want, pick a quality preset, add smoothing steps, and preserve sharp edges. You can also enforce symmetry and use adaptive sizing. Let me give you an example. If I set it to 4000 faces on high quality and click remesh, I get clean, smooth geometry with no shading problems. It is also perfect if you want to subdivide afterward, the topology just works. And by the way, you can also change the unit system, switch between meters, centimeters, or millimeters. This is especially helpful for 3D printing. Now let us talk about something a little more creative, the paint tool. With it, you can literally paint metaballs into 3D space. You choose the shape, like sphere, capsule, plane, cube, or even random. You can randomize their size too, and then just start drawing. You can either paint into empty space or directly onto an object. For example, you can paint directly onto the Suzanne monkey head. Just select it, activate paint mode, and choose surface only. Now you are drawing directly onto the mesh. You can create roots, coral-like shapes, or anything organic. It is super intuitive, and once you are done painting, convert the metaballs into mesh, run remesh, and you are ready to sculpt or render. Another cool thing is placing metaballs on vertex groups. Go into edit mode, select some vertices, and assign them to a group. Then you can generate metaballs exactly on those points. You can also control the density and radius of each ball. It is a great way to generate clustered effects or very specific patterns, and everything remains editable afterward. Alright, one last tool to mention is the wire shell. This takes your shape and turns it into a thin open mesh structure based on a decimation angle. The default angle is 30 degrees, which usually gives a nice result. You can try higher angles like 50 or 70 if you want something more abstract, but be warned, things can get messy. I recommend using remesh first before applying wire shell. That way you avoid geometry issues and get cleaner results. Once you have that shell, you can combine it with other tools, add layers, stack effects, and just keep experimenting. Also remember to rename your objects. It makes things easier when layering or exporting. Alright, so that is pretty much it. That is the Metaball Field Generator. And as you have seen, it is not just a simple shape generator, it is a full creative playground. You can use it for sculpting, concept art, procedural design, or just for fun. I actually wrote this on the product page and I still mean it. There are probably more unique combinations you can create with this tool than there are atoms on Earth. And yeah, that might be an exaggeration, but honestly, maybe not. Thank you for watching and thank you for supporting my work at Parasite-like Studio. This add-on took a long time to build and every bit of support means a lot. I will continue updating it and improving it, but for now I hope it gives you something powerful, something inspiring, and something you can make your own. Thanks again, and if you like this, feel free to subscribe on Gumroad to get updates. That is it from me. See you soon.